We are one day removed from the assassination attempt of Donald Trump, and there are many things that we do know and many things that we do not know. And this is where the media comes into this. So first, what we do know here is Donald Trump is still alive. He was shot in the ear, and it's good that he is alive. Second, unfortunately, this is not a victimless crime. There was a murder committed here as an innocent bystander, a man named Corey Compertori, who is, sorry for butchering the name, but a father whose last act in life was to save the lives of his wife and his daughter. May his memory forever be a blessing, and condolences to the family. A man has died, and that deserves focus. Now, the point of this video is there are many things that we do not know and do know. And there's wild speculation. And some of that is the subject of today's video. And what we do know, and what we can talk about, is how the media has reacted to this. It has been one day, and we have seen, the mainstream media, especially here in Canada, go absolutely bonkers. The CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, paid for with Canadian taxpayer dollar money, gets over $1 billion a year from us, was the most deranged news outlet I have ever seen yesterday. And the meltdowns continue. I'm just going to play one clip from the CBC. Just give you 1 minute of CBC. If you're not Canadian and you're American, you want to see how much worse CNN can get. And I watch CNN too. I watched it all. If you want to know how bad it can get, here's the CBC, who has come and found the culprit. And listen, it's good. Don't jump to conclusions. We might know the shooter. We might not know the shooter. Yes, they're dead. There'll be a bit of fog of war. I like to give these things at least 48 hours to find out exactly what's going on and make sure you don't get caught in anything. But that's not enough for the CBC. Within 1 hour, within the first hour, they managed to find the culprit and the ideology behind the Donald Trump shooting. And who is responsible for the attempted assassination of Donald Trump? Donald Trump. Yes, Donald Trump is responsible, because you're not going to believe this. Not the CNN at least had the skill or the respect to link this to January 6th, a somewhat reasonable thing. Here, the CBC links this to Donald Trump removing a heckler from a rally like 2-3 years ago.
And this picks up a little bit, I think, on what Alex was talking about. What will Donald Trump say? Again, back to rallies that I've attended and rallies that we've all seen on television over the course of years now. We've seen him in an animated fashion, when a demonstrator rises up, right? Get him the hell out of there, right? Things like that kind of language that Trump has used. And at other times, in other circumstances, the kind of language that goes down the path toward violence. How will Trump respond to this verbally? What will he tell the MAGA crowd about how he is, about what he thinks about what has happened? What will they think? To where Steve and Alex are in Milwaukee, where unless plans have changed, I'm supposed to go tomorrow. There is a giant...
See, I just left that last part in so you know who the real victim is. Yes, you might think Donald Trump is the real victim of his own assassination. Then it turns out it's actually a CBC reporter who might be mildly inconvenienced on his way to Milwaukee. How did Donald Trump not think of this, removing a heckler from his rallies years ago? This is exactly the type of rhetoric from the media that led to this. Now, we could go on. I could give you a search. I'm sure someone else's compilation. We can go on, Biden put a target on him, this, and that. But let's focus on the role of the media here. And this is my favorite of all the headlines. We saw, Secret Service removes Donald Trump after he fell on rally stage. They can't even call it an attempted assassination attempt. And you said, this is my favorite one, this screenshot. Here we have MSNBC. Secret Service rushes to Trump off stage after popping noises heard at Pennsylvania rally. But then if you see on the chyron on the thing, NBC News themselves confirms shooter at Trump rally is dead. So they even confirmed that there was a shooter and it was dead, yet it's still talking about popping noises. So they even acknowledge that, yes, someone is shooting a gun. These are the popping noises, but let's not put that in the title, because we must do whatever we want for the cause. So this gives us, I think if we're going to go to what we do know here, and what we do know about the media is this doesn't seem like any sort of, it makes no sense that there could have been a mass directive. Something like the head of CNN could have called people and the CBC. No, this just shows you what the ecosystem is. Everyone is so ideologically brainwashed. It's not like Klaus Schwab has to get on the phone and talk to these people or anything. It's when something happens that does not fit their narrative, they instinctively lie and manipulate and shield their side, because they absolutely do have sides, from the consequences of their, own actions. And this is what's pushing many people towards polarization. So let's bring this to, is there going to be a civil war in the US? And what the last few days have shown is one side has already declared war on the other, and it's not Trump's side. This is sort of like this is a great Israel Hamas analogy. The left has already declared war on the right? Hamas declared war on Israel in 2005 and 2007 when it took over. It wasn't until they pushed the bounds so much that Israel declared war back that you actually got something. And that's a state we are right now in Western politics, where the left has declared outright ideological totalitarian war against its own opponents it perceives to be too fascist, racist, whatever, right? We give these people labels, and then we say anything is justified in the removal of, in this case, usually fascism. Just like Israel-Gaza analogy here, you cannot give people an ultimatum that says you must stop existing. No one's going to choose themselves to stop existing, right? If you show that, hey, there's a certain level of acceptability that the left will control over, Republican candidates. If you guys vote for these people, if you guys try and get your people in, it is perceived that no, you're not allowed to have power in the people you choose because we, the righteous technocrats, know better than you. Well, you're saying to people, right? And I point out that a man is dead, an American father and husband, by all accounts. If we know nothing about the man, we know his last actions are that of a noble and heroic individual. If people are going to see that you're willing to kill them, to insert or force ideological conformity upon them, they're not going to say yes. It's natural. Like you want people on the right to come on and calm people down and say no civil war. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's nothing we can say right now as right-wing pundits or leaders that can stymie the tide towards civil war. That's purely on you, the people disagreeing with this video. It's on the people at CNN, CBS, CBC. It's the left-wing pundits who've been pushing this for so long. If you don't realize you're already at war with us, if you don't want a war, get off the cliff and stop firing. Stop firing. If you want a ceasefire, again, bring it down. You can't have a ceasefire and an intifada. If you want a ceasefire, you have to stop firing upon us, because there's nothing you can do. Again, there are tens of millions of Americans who support Trump, and they're armed. And if you actually set the precedent that it's okay to kill and assassinate your leaders, and you're going to push that in, there's no way to stem that tide from our end. It's a natural occurrence. If you declare war on another subset of people, they're going to eventually come after you. So the message here is if you want to avoid anything from escalating, it's not on the responsibility of Trump or people like us. It's on the people who disagree. Your side is you've crossed the Rubicon. You have to come back now. It's meaningless to put it on Trump. And the other thing we can see now is, listen, Trump's going to win. Okay, so get that into your thing, that the people will support him. The image of him acting this way in the line of fire is iconic. Who do you want dealing with Vladimir Putin, Xi Jinping, Ayatollah Khomeini? The man who, when he is shot at, takes it and then gets up and says, fight, continue the fight, which is another thing the media go crazy on. USA, rallying people around you. A man that Putin has seen that then, when threatened with danger, reacts courageously. Or Joe Biden, who couldn't debate because he debate prepped so hard and he looks like he belongs in a nursing home. The world needs stability. And the man on stage on July 13th, 2024, is proven to have the mettle that is needed to stand up to some of the worst people in the world. So I do hope that the CBC realizes what they've done. They decide to walk this back. But all experience I have from the mainstream media over the last 10, 15 years is they're going to continue to double down and double down and double down and continue to attack and attack and attack and attack their political opponents. And you cannot be surprised when eventually, laws of physics apply and every action has an equal and opposite reaction. You're going to get hit back eventually if you don't, step down off the ledge. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the National Telegraph. Links in bios below. If you want to donate, feel free to donate to our links available here. And we will see you next time.